I think we just need more kind men who are respecting women, who are respecting their moms, who are who are just redefining what it means to be a good man.
So, you've lived a very high profile life since for the last, 10 years or so. And I think a lot of people would think that they know you to a certain degree because they know who you are publicly. And now you make this book, Finding My Way, and it's personal, it's charming, it's a very vulnerable portrait of you finding your way. And it's very different from your other books because it's so personal. So, my first question is why now? Why this book now?
When your story is out there in the world, um, and you realize that this does not reflect you for the person you are today.
Hmm.
The story that I shared before was the story of a 15-year-old girl. Today, I am a grown woman. I am reaching my 30s soon. I have learned so much along the way. I want to talk about many more topics like friendships, love, mental health. How do we continue to be activists for a cause that we start believing in when we are still children?
Hmm.
So, this book is my most personal reflections that I have ever shared. And this is my reintroduction for who I truly am. And the most important message for me is that it's so important for us to be true to ourselves.
Hmm. No, that's beautiful. I mean, I think people are very familiar with sort of episodes, things that have happened to you in your life, but not who you've become because of them. So, this is very exciting. You spent much of your life working with girls in education and helping them find their path and identities through education. And part of this book is about your own education. So take us back to when you first arrived in England and began high school in Birmingham. What was that like?
It was a completely new culture. I missed my friends in Pakistan, but I was no longer with them. And I wanted to make more friends, but it was so difficult in a new culture, in a new school. And by the end of my school life, I had only made one friend.
Wow.
So when I was about to start my college, I had one goal to make as many friends as I could. Friendship was important to me because friends help you be yourself. You find a comfort around them where you are in a non-judgmental environment. You don't have to think twice about what you say.
Right.
So friends are everything to me. And I'm so glad that I took a different approach at college. I was saying hello to everybody, going to every event so I can meet as many people as I can. And at times it felt awkward, but I said to myself, go for it.
Hmm.
And I'm so grateful for all the incredible friends I have made. They were there for me in moments of joy, in also in times when I needed help and I was struggling through things. Uh, and now we are like friends for life.
Wow, it's beautiful. I remember reading that, when the Taliban took over your valley and you couldn't go to school, a big part of why you were so upset about it was because you missed your friends.
Yes.
So that's interesting to hear that now that became a goal again as you're carrying on with your life. So I heard that you read because we talk about books. The next chapter. This is what we do. I heard you read Jane Austen, and you'd only read one Jane Austen novel prior to coming to Birmingham. Was that really good preparation for modern day Birmingham?
As you can imagine, not at all.
How
I
did
was like, oh, this looks very different. Yeah, very different.
how were you surprised? In what ways?
I mean, in every way, to be honest. Mm. You know, like in so even the English that I had learned at school in Pakistan was very different than the spoken English. The
Oh,
accents are different, the local phrases are different. I struggle to understand the jargons. Somebody would say like pop up, like pop up and see me, and I said like, what do you mean like pop up to my office or something? Um,
right.
So I would always be just confused to understand what somebody was saying.
Mm.
Um, but more than anything, I wanted to feel like a normal student and make friends,
And fit
which had
in.
become, yeah, and fit in, which had become a lot harder.
Yeah, no doubt. I grew up in the Caribbean myself, and when I came to Canada, I was like, "Is this even English?" Like it's so, like it just sounds. It's the same language, but of course, it's all the nuances that matter, isn't it? So
Yeah, you get used to it with time. Yes.
yeah, of course. I was told that when you were a kid in Pakistan, you had never visited a bookstore or a library,
Mm.
and yet there were some book titles that you had quoted. So I was curious, what were those books, and how did those books come to you if you weren't going to a bookstore or a library?
Yeah, so the books were a gift from somebody of, a journalist who had come from the US brought a few books. There was Romeo and Juliet, um, and Oliver Twist, some like kids editions of these books, and I was so grateful for each and every book that I received. I thought
Mm,
I had this treasure of books that I would value forever, and there were like probably 8 or 9 books in total
mm,
that I had read outside my school curriculum. Kids are very much limited to their school textbooks, and it's not like very common to have local libraries. The Taliban were even attacking schools and local libraries at the time. So education was something so precious to us.
mm.
When I actually joined Oxford and I saw this big library in my college with more than like 70,000 books, I was stunned. I was like, wait a second, like you can have this many books and it's all for you and you can read it anytime.
Wow.
Wow. So all the kids out there who have access to books and they can learn anytime, should truly value it.
Yeah, it's a dream. I can imagine you cherish those few books that you had that you were allowed to read because they were so rare. But I'm glad you bring up going to Oxford because I'm picturing you. I'm picturing my uni days, like, classes, clubs, trying to experiment, have fun, have adventure. And yet you're the famous girl with the Nobel Prize. So, how did that work out?
Oh, I did not want to be defined as the girl with the Nobel Prize.
Of
I
course.
I think that's the first thing I actually wanted to undo. For me, it was important to actually like make friends, and then you want to learn about other people, but more than that, you just want to learn about yourself, like who you are. Because
Mm,
before that, I was living with my parents. I was struggling to make friends at school. Then I would be around my work people, and I would be speaking at world stages and doing bilateral meetings. So I had never even seen people who were closer to my age,
wow.
especially boys. I was like in an all girls school, so I had not even seen boys my age. When I saw them, I was like, okay, uh nothing but okay.
What do you do?
Wow, I was like, huh, interesting. But I think it's important to be around people your age, so you could you know f- explore more about how you are supposed to be at this time. It's okay
Hmm.
not to have all the answers. It's okay to be silly at times. It's okay to be adventurous. I prioritized socializing and making friends so much that I forgot about my studies. And that's not a message to all the young people out there, but all I wanted to say was that I knew that I could read a book anytime, but I would never have this moment where I could be with amazing friends that I'm making here. So I
Right.
remember, like, in the library, looking outside and seeing my friends giggle, and I closed my books and I went off. I said, I'm going to hang out with them. I was at every event, every dinner party. There were events like Diwali ball and Eid party and Holi
Hmm.
party. I was not missing any occasion. I had signed up for every possible club that was out there, including rowing. I can't swim. I had never done it, and I don't know why I did that, but I just did not want to miss out. So
Would
I
you?
yeah, it's terrible. You have to be up at like 5 a.m.
Yeah.
and to know how to swim as well because you could like literally drown any minute. So I gave up on that, but I had a bit of that experience.
Well, I think I can speak for the rest of the world where I say I'm thankful that you didn't drown in an Oxford River trying to row.
Oh,
Would you say that you were making up for lost time a little bit? Because, the earlier part of your life was so empty of all of those things, right? Like you're shaking hands with prime ministers, not like hanging out and talking about boys and listening to music or anything like that, right?
very much. I felt like I was reliving my childhood.
Hmm.
I wanted to have that experience because I just never thought if I would get another opportunity outside these 3 years in college to be able to be myself. This was the first time I felt that like my family's not watching me. Like my dad and my mom do not have my schedule. They're not around. My work people have no access to my calendar. They don't know like if I'm attending a lecture, if I'm hanging out with my friends. Like nobody knows. Maybe I can just say I'm busy and I can do whatever I want to do.
I
Yeah.
love it.
So and I realized that I didn't just want to be a normal student. I wanted to be a more adventurous student at college.
Hmm.
So one time this mysterious student told me about rooftop climbing. And I said, "Ooh, like what is that?" He said, "It's very dangerous, but we can make it up to the rooftop." And I remember walking up to the fourth floor of the building, sneaking out through uh, the window of the room, and walking on this narrow path on the rooftop. One misstep, and you could fall,
Wow.
could literally die. But I was willing to risk it just for the adventure of being on the rooftop under the bell tower to breathe in the fresh air and just feel like I was in this moment of triumph. I don't know
Hmm.
against what, but it felt a thriller, adventurous experience. Yeah, I was willing to get into trouble, and
Not
I'm
just
glad.
a
Yeah,
not just a normal student, but you wanted to have like the absolute most maximum experience of being in college and enjoying yourself.
100%, 100%.
I love it. So for me, certainly, books in uni, there were some books that just changed my mind forever. Like they just blew my mind. I was never the same after them. Do you have any books like that?
Oh, I mean, university books. Which ones are we talking about?
Well, which ones stick with
The
you from
the
that time?
macroeconomic ones, the big thick book with a lot of equations and those complicated things, maybe not. I really enjoyed my philosophy and politics
Hmm.
books. We had different topics like, utilitarianism and ethics, and I really enjoyed virtue ethics. That's one of my favorite topics.
Right.
We need to talk more about who we are and what to be than what to do, because when we decide who we are and what our values are, that then translates into our actions as well.
Hmm.
So I really enjoyed talking about virtue ethics and Plato's Republic. I mean, Plato became like, I love all of the Plato books.
Hmm.
Enjoyed international relations as well, but I mean, it's easy. The problem with the politics topics is that um like on paper you could just sort of like write about this is what it should be and this is what's wrong with this political theory, but like when you look at the real life and what's happening in reality with different countries with human rights, it is really concerning. So it can be a bit annoying when you are writing about these topics while at the same time you're seeing how the world is sort of constantly failing at protecting human rights and stopping wars and conflicts and helping like save children.
It must be amazing to you're living this life, meeting, people with actual power to make changes, whether they're doing it or not. But then you're also learning the theory of
I know.
how of what it should be and what it could be. So I don't want to keep this totally serious. I hear your team Conrad. Can you comment on this? Can you break this news for us?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was obvious. I thought everybody would be Team Conrad.
Yeah, why is that?
Is this like guy that you know like sort of girls dream of, because he's so sensible and caring. But
Hmm.
I think outside this context of like belly and this love life, I think we just need more kind men who are respecting women, who are respecting their moms, who are like, who are just redefining what it means to be a good man,
Beautiful.
a better man. So I love that. I love that about Conrad. And actually was with Jenny Han last night. So we were chatting about,
Oh, that
who's
must
team.
have been fun.
That was a lot of fun, yes. And of course, I mean, she gave birth to all of these characters. So I
Hmm.
couldn't ask her who her team was, but I told her that the show was incredible. And in the end, I think we should all be Team Belly because, you know, it's Belly's decision what she wants to choose for herself. But I
Hmm.
love that, Belly sort of was taking her time and learning. And it's important for young women to feel okay if they have questions, if they are processing their emotions and they're taking their time to make decisions for themselves.
I love it. That's beautiful. Well, thank you for your example and thank you for being with us. Malala Yousafzai is the author of the memoir Finding My Way. Thanks a lot. I really appreciate this short time getting to know you a little
Yeah.
bit.
Thank you so much. And I'm so excited that I'll be speaking in Toronto as well. I think it's on the 7th of
November
November.
7th, you'll be in
Yes.
Toronto, correct? Yeah.
Yeah. And, I'm looking forward to trying bagels. That's what I've heard
Okay.
of. Yeah. And I'm also an honorary Canadian citizen, which like is a huge, huge honor. Of course, it does not come with any visa benefit or anything, but it's still a huge honor.
Yeah.
Uh, I feel like I'm going to be seeing my fellow
Yeah.
Canadian brothers and sisters, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, well, we're honored to have you. I think I've known a lot of folks, especially women and girls, are so inspired here by your
Yeah,
example, and I know you're used to hearing that, but we not from us. So we're gonna tell you we're gonna be excited to see you on the 7th.
yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. See you soon.
Take care. All the best.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.